Hello everyone, welcome back to Thrasher, Skate and Destroy. I'm Insetic, with me is Blank Tester.
Hey kids, how's it going?
And in this video, we are scaling the final summit of the game, or starting to scale it, because we've gone through expert mode, we got to the end, we beat the final level, we got our signature trick, and we also got a bunch of high scores dropped on us. So now, we've got to go back, get all the front covers of Thrasher, become Skater of the Year. And so yeah, it gives you the new scores, but you can go do them in any order. It's basically a new game plus. You have access to all of your moves for all the levels, so it's not like you have to re-earn all of them. And like I said, you've got your signature tricks. Some characters get signature flip tricks, some get signature grabs, one character gets a signature grind, but Cyrus gets that impossible trick. So,
Nice.
pretty high score level on that, and again, without getting into a ton of detail, or at least not right now this early, again, Cyrus is a little overpowered in that way, because that trick is quick. You can bust it out pretty much anywhere, whereas other characters' signature tricks take a little longer. You gotta think a little more about
situational.
Yeah. Alright, so now we're getting into the runs, and these videos will show the full successful run for each level. I don't want to cut forward, fade forward, speed up, because, this is challenging. People might be looking for help on how to get these done. And I also don't want to throw a million tidbits of advice at you, because, once I just start talking and saying every little thingy I've come up with and realized, that would just bury you with information. So really, here, a picture is worth 1,000 words, and these videos will hopefully give you a lot of tips, or a real good idea of sort of what you need to do.
Maybe instead of your actual advice on the specific levels, maybe talk about your mindset and how you approach, your mindset in how you're going when you're thinking of your route or your tricks. Oh, that's a good call right there. The impossible right at the end while the cop is there.
Yeah. So definitely, don't be afraid to use the cop and maybe bust your signature trick and get those triple points, because, you'll get 3,000, 4,000, and that helps out whether the high score is 25k, 30k, 40k. That's a good chunk of each. So yeah, once you beat the high score on all the levels in a area, again, hometown only has the first level, you'll be able to take the front cover, where it basically just gives you a replay. You can pick between cameras, just find a cool shot, take that shot. I'm an awful photographer, so all of my shots will be awful.
Just butts.
Right. But yeah, kind of just going into the mindset or the idea is good. The general idea, I can say, is that you should be trying to get at least 1,000 points with each trick. And if you're riding forward, spend several seconds setting something up, that's a lot of S's in a row, and doing a combo, you should really be trying to get multiple 1,000 points. If your flip trick grind flipping out, you should try to get 2,000, 3,000. If you're really going for a situational part of the level, you should try to get 5,000, 6,000.
Yeah, because what's the score? Generally speaking, the way I would approach this would be okay, this is going to be really hard regardless. There's never going to be one thing I can do that will just be easy. So my goal should be, I need to be getting, I need to get so many points by the time the timer's over, and that means I've got however much, literally just divide number of points by the amount of time, and that gives you an idea of how many points you should be getting per second. And if you're not getting points during that second, that should be you leading up to getting all the points for, that second and the next second, all in one,
I'd be scared to get that clinical, because I think that might make it too hard. Ultimately, you do have to do a bunch of thinking, planning, but I don't want you to overthink.
That's my granular sort of mindset on it, but then, taking it back to the broader scale, it would be okay, well, it takes 10 seconds for me to get over to this ramp. and I could get maybe 5,000 points on this ramp. Is it worth that 10 seconds to get there? You know, and if you're looking for is it worth it, that's when the math comes in. You just see how many points per second you should be getting, and you're like, oh no, at 10 seconds, I'm not getting enough points to make it worth it. So I should just skip that ramp and go for something else. Or find something on the way to get those points.
I guess so.
You know, that's the way I would approach it. So you're gonna do another impossible here?
I believe so.
Yeah.
I mean, I've already passed, but just showing, hey,
it's a quick way to get.
But again, Cyrus is really the only one who can consistently do that. Like, the other characters with flip trick specials can't get the air to do it. Characters with grabs, you never have time for a grab off solid ground, or at least not the specials. And again, the character with the signature grind, you know. So, I'm gonna try not to rely too much on busting out the, signature trick with a cop to pass these. Because again, this should be kind of a guide to help people out. And also, once again, this is recorded when I had the skill level of getting there and being able to pass it. So, I could be busting signature tricks out all over the place.
Yeah.
Or as much as, would keep a high score amount. But I don't want to have to rely on that. But yeah, so this will be at least your second playthrough. If you loaded up the game, started straight on expert mode, you could unlock this as your second runs through the level. Or you could have done what I did, played through on normal, then was told you had to go back through on expert, and hopefully by this point, you really do know the levels pretty well and know the opportunities. So, your kind of consideration if something is worth it or not should hopefully be sort of natural. More natural with where you are in the level and what's around you. And also keep your character's limitations in mind. Like, if you're a vert character, instead of grinding that long rail, maybe go over to that jump. Try to do a spin and a grab and see if you can get your risk multiplier up with the big air. But along with that, you should be looking to do multiple things in a jump. Example, if you go off of a big jump and you're not going to, be able to land in a grind or something, try to do a flip and a grab. Try to spin and grab. And if you're not going to be chaining stuff together, maybe that's the time to do one of those frontside kick flip or heel flips or your signature trick. Meanwhile, if you're riding up expecting to do a flip grab, flip out, flip grind, flip out, maybe don't go for the longer tricks if you're not sure you'd be able to land them. Maybe that's the time to do kick flip, grind, 360 flip out. In my mind, I was wanting to start the video off with this, but better now than, 20 minutes from now. I want to at least state that I never got mad doing this. It's challenging, it's tough, but to me it wasn't frustrating. Yeah. It was iterative. I'd figure out what worked more, I'd learn what didn't work, and hey, if I knew something was kaput, if I knew I just messed up way too much, I'd just leisurely stroll to the exit to the level, and that's the fastest way to restart. There's no restart option straight in the pause menu, but roll to the exit of the level, leave, even if it suggests you don't, and you'll fail because you don't have the points, and you'll just be able to restart.
Would it be... I mean, it would obviously be difficult for some of the characters. Do you want to maybe, kind of postulate how you might try to make use of the cop as those other characters? I mean, the other characters you would definitely want to play well, just in general, obviously. But, with the cop is definitely an opportunity to get some last minute points for Cyrus, and it would probably require more practice, but also planning to time up maybe doing a big jump right as the cop shows up. I mean,
anyone can frontside kick flip or heel flip on solid ground.
Sure, yeah.
Anyone can do a nollie big spin. And all of those are also 900 to 1,000 base points, so with the cop multiplier, you'll get the same amount there. Cyrus's signature
I'm just thinking about, like,
trick
signature
being really
tricks.
fast.
Like, if they want to try... I mean, is it even worth it to try to get that in there? Because if you crash, that's... I mean, the cop spawn's pretty much right where your camera is.
I mean, here we go.
When the time goes, right? So...
I mean, here we go getting maybe a little more granular than I'd want. But, you know, with the other characters' flip tricks, just... find an elevation change. You know, I'm sure there's a set of stairs nearby.
Yeah.
Or, you know, a kicker that'll toss you into the air. For Axel and his signature grind, I mean, it'd have to be kind of quick. You lose momentum while you grind, but, you know, I'm sure you can make that work. For the characters with grabs, this is really where... oh, and yeah, here we go again. Now that I've done all the ones in New York, but... characters with signature grabs, this is really where I have no idea how you would do some of these. Because, you know, I've gone through expert mode with each character. I've not gone for the highest high scores with every character. Maybe now, you know, now that I'm even further past this in skill level, I could do it, but I wouldn't really be able to play to their strengths too much. Because, here's this is kind of where I talked about earlier. I know. Maybe if he was facing the camera, it would have been a cool shot, but...
Just the butt.
Yeah. It would be a really good ad for Levi's, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, like, even if you do a character's signature grab, and, like, a 360 or 540, you're still getting, like, 1,000 points max.
Yeah.
And so, just spins and grabs is really... where I start to get concerned about trying to get that, 1,000 points per trick sort of thing.
Yeah.
And the levels are so set up for Street. You have a million opportunities to flip and grind, but there might not be that many great places in a level to go do vert tricks on. But also on this third run through the levels, I'll be able to show a little bit more about what I've learned about the levels. Which is like, on Venice, you can get up on the rooftops, and this is a pretty good opportunity. To get some good points, because your risk multiplier is gonna scream since you're up on some rooftops and you do some big drops down.
Yeah, rest in peace.
Yeah.
Again, I have a question that just never occurred to me before, but is occurring to me now. If you're in the middle of a combo when your timer runs out, does the cop show up, and then how does the multiplier factor in there? So, like, if you had a 1.5 times multiplier when the cop showed up, does it add from there, or...?
I know that the cop multiplier timing starts when it shifts to his perspective.
Right.
I know there's an example of me being halfway through a trick... in one of these runs when it shifts to him, but I think that's just a simple 1x that jumps up to 3x.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if a 2x would go up to 6x.
Yeah, well, I was thinking probably it would be more like additive, so like a 2x would go up to 4x because your normal is 1x, and they add 2 to it.
Yeah.
So maybe it would be additive, I would think, if they do anything like that. They might just set it to 3. Which would then beg the question, if you were so good you could get it above 3, and then you had it above 3 when the cop showed up, would it drop down to 3? That'd be kind of an interesting thing to see. I mean, that would require a pretty high level of skill and planning to even test.
Right. But I mean...
Oh. Okay.
That was accidental. You could
I was like, you got 30 seconds, you don't want to... crush it? You can. I'm scared of the cop.
We're gonna use a really old joke. I'm gonna get 93% of the score and then just quit.
Yeah.
Big Mac 93 shout out.
Yeah.
I don't even remember what video that was from.
Man, that is ancient. I forgot about that.
I think that was from like Pure or something. Whatever. But like, some people can manipulate the cop pretty well, and even kind of at this point, I was trying not to have to stick around too long. Just in case, but if you know the level pretty well, then you can get some good opportunities there. Like first run through, back in the normal mode playthrough, I said, LA River, I do not want to have to deal with him. LA River is actually one of the easiest levels to get away from him on, because it's so wide open.
Just keep moving and... Does he get faster? Like, over time?
Actually. No, in that very first video, that's again something... And this is why I don't want to offer too much of advice, because eventually I'll be wrong. In that very first video, I said he gets faster. He actually doesn't. You could just maintain consistent speed for 20 seconds, and you'll get away.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's a few ways to get away from him. Either get to the exit, get a significant distance away, or outrun him for 20 seconds.
Oh, okay, so that's how they keep you from just, like, continuing in the level forever.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, basically it's like a trap if you crash. Because if you crash, you spend time getting up and then it'll probably catch up.
Right. If you crash or if you really slow down.
Yeah.
Which, like, going and getting a bunch of air slows you down. Going for, like, a longer grind slows you down.
I don't know whether they created the cop mechanic... Well, obviously they created the cop mechanic to fit with the theming, but, like, I don't know if they designed the cop mechanic as a mechanic first and then fit it to the theming, or if they just made it for the theming and then it just kind of mechanically fell out the way it did.
Z-Axis is definitely leaning into kind of the skateboarding culture. That old school
which is awesome.
Old school hip hop theme, those kind of street-based levels, and I think the rebelliousness was part of that.
Yeah, for sure.
Without going, well, we're sticking it to the man. I mean, you look around, all those no skateboarding signs, people trying their best to, like, put skating blockers wherever they can. Well, I mean, this is late 90s, early 2000s. Skating's only gotten much more popular and accepted since then. So
Back
definitely,
then it was much, yeah.
I could see them probably thinking, like, there should be a cop that tries to chase you out at the end of the level, and, hey, maybe deciding to give you more points
was like
while you're
a
running
thing
from
afterwards.
Maybe that was like a cool idea. But, alright, so that was the first 6 levels. Next video will be the next 6 as we make our way to become Skater of the Year.